I've always felt, and I'm old enough to be able to say this, I've always felt that everything in life is kind of an inspiration. You have to look back on some things to realize that, to really realize the richness that is around us all the time. But I think curiosity is one of the things that inspires me to paint, and my curiosity leads me to places where I find extraordinary beauty and in things that other people might consider ordinary. So it's about paying attention to what's around me. I love being in nature, and nature offers us pretty much all the lessons that we need in terms of where and how to find beauty. For some artists, that's the human form. For some artists, it might be the shape of a piece of metal. For me, it's color. I fall in love with sunsets and sunrises and the color of the ocean when there's storm clouds out there, and I want to find that color. I want to make that color on my canvas. I'm inspired by everything. It could be the curve of a person's shoulder. I never know. I never know how I will be inspired, but I believe that it's all there for me to take if I just stay open to it. Oh boy, my biggest influences as far as artists go, really changes over the years. I mean, back when I was doing and studying Asian brushwork, I fell in love with the early Zen masters, the ones that would spend their entire life painting a Zen circle over and over and over again till they got the one that felt embodied them. Asian-wise, I love the work of Toko Shinoda. She was one of the first ones to take Asian brushwork into like a very modern context. Love Maxfield Parrish. Maxfield Parrish painted in oils, and from him, I stole his idea of doing transparent layers with the varnish in between because it creates this beautiful depth. He did the same thing. He did it in oils. Check out his mountains and his skies, and you will fall in love with him too. Gustav Klimt, absolutely, probably my hands down favorite for his use of metallics, his use of gold leaf, his use of detail outlining, and also what I love most to do is his use of the layering of patterns. And the patterns repeat, but they're often not the same, and they're just layered one on top of the other, and all of a sudden it becomes a beautiful dress of a gorgeous woman who really you only see her face and her hands rendered realistically. The rest of it is very, very abstracted. So I've always loved Klimt's work, and one of the things that I'm doing now, a current series of mine, is very Klimtian, if you will, because I'm taking rather abstracted fluid acrylic pours and turning them into paintings that have kind of an homage to Klimt with layered patterns in them that I have developed. Beyond that, I like Mucha. Is it Mucha? Oh, anyway, I love it because I think I've always loved just the whole Art Deco movement. It's very pleasing to me. There is just a sense of style which is somewhat angular, and I love that juxtaposed to round things. He really was able to put those two things together, and his women are just absolutely gorgeous. I found my artistic style over probably the last 35 years by showing up in the studio and doing the work and accepting every single failure that happened along the way. I think some of my very best techniques and things that make my art unique have come out of sessions where something went wrong and I fixed it. And then it was so beautiful, I decided I needed to be able to recreate that fail again. How long it takes for you to find a particular style. What matters is that you do find it. Otherwise, people will walk into a room that might be full of all kinds of different art, and if they can't pick your work out among it, I guess that leads you to the question of, what do I need to do to make myself outstanding? Because I think that's what every artist wants. I've always felt an advantage being somewhat an abstract artist versus, let's say, someone who does figurative work and portraiture. It's like, how many ways can you reinvent that? So style comes with time, it comes with